pull up the Discord on the right monitor, like this, and I'll click on this to expose our lovely lack of faces. Whew, it's hot. And then, whew. And we're ready to go.
Nice.
I'll turn this cam off. All right, guys, what's up? This is what do I say? Clap, clap. What's up, everybody? This is Richard Terrell. I go by Kirby Kate, and you are watching a random video on Twitch because I have not been streaming a lot, but this is a very important day. Today, goes over to Discord. Pew! Is Krystal online? She's not online.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Oh, I think you enLIGHTen, maybe?
No, let me just see inside this.
Oh, there we go.
She is.
Oh.
Krystal has earned both enlightenment. Now she has gold letters somewhere. Where is she? She's gone. Up. Yeah. Now but then she's also achieved mastery and enlightened. Now she's got the red letters. Every moment, red letter. Did Jasmine say that? I don't think she said every moment, red letter in the new movie. She did?
Yes.
Oh, because you were singing the part and I was focusing on my lines. Okay. Fun distraction. We're back. Now Krystal joins this elite club and we will talk about her experiences playing enLIGHTen. As you can see here, 100% mastery and 100% enlightenment. Wow! So now I go to the game itself and we can continue our conversation. Everything recording? Hello? Say something, guys.
Hello.
Okay, cool. You're all good. So yeah, I'm looking at the file. Let's hope it doesn't crash. Was the compass working for you in your final hours?
Yes.
It's crazy. Right now it's pointing to your dailies, which is the last thing that you've been spending the most time on, which is interesting. And then for mastery, you got the most from puzzle mode and notes, but you've been spending a lot of time on dailies. I don't know if it works once you reach the top. Your little blue arrows and red arrows will shrink into nothingness. But that's perfectly fine. Some other people have had problems getting the final few percentages, but it looks like you didn't have much problem. Many problems. Did Mark help?
Yes.
I did help.
Mark helped with the...
in the right direction.
Yeah, he did.
That was hard for me is I was very close to mastery for quite a while, but then got busy and distracted, and then when I came back, it's like, oh, I was really close. I just had to do these few little things. So I just sort of pointed in the direction.
Nice. So we check out the stats. You have solved 139 puzzles. However, all the little colors race to the top. That's interesting. Shapes added 8. That's interesting. How does that compare to Faded Reality? You guys can see the new on stream. You can see the new UI fixes I put. Like the names are right next to the lines.
Nice.
Yeah, Faded Reality versus Krystal.
He added more than I have.
Cool. And then look at these little dots. You guys don't have the version with the dots. 26 hours. Right at 26 hours, you're like, I'm done. Wow, look at Fates. Jeez. Krystal is dark green and Faded Reality is the other one.
Blue. Oh man, he's done a lot.
Yeah.
For some reason, the last time we looked on his friend code, we didn't see that he had done that much.
Yeah, what is this? I mean, I guess since I just loaded it up. Well, he has played in the last few days.
Huh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, his last few sessions were much better.
Yeah.
Is this where Krystal woke up at 22 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you guys don't have this data on the right side either, where it tells you what the hours are and what the date was for that entry.
Right. Yep.
Well, that's fun. So yeah, Krystal started roughly around the beginning of June. I mean, I can always go to my thoughts and go to the first note, and then click on more stats. It was 4/18/2020, April 18th.
April 18th. Okay.
And you know, if you could see all the different people's stats for these things, you notice that the natural fluctuation in their scores, how they average certain ones and hover in certain areas. There's always this up and down effect. Interesting.
Pretty big.
What's up, Fate of Reality? We are looking on my Twitch stream if you want to tune in. Or the design-oriented Twitch stream.
Okay.
What I love about Daily 3 is it's supposed to get harder once you learn more shapes. So like, it could go really high at the beginning, and then you start to get hit by some hard ones before it averages back up. But it looks like you played it at your 8 hours in, and then you played it 8 hours in, and then rocketed to the top. Let's see, Fate. Yeah, here's where Fate had some wonkiness when he was learning new shapes. It becomes harder. Why do I keep clicking that? Stop that. Oh, that's why. I programmed it poorly. Okay. It goes up, and then just scraping the top on this one for Krystal. That was like the best one.
Yeah, that was super easy.
And I wonder if that's because you focus so much on the memorized patterns.
Yep.
Daily 5 was really interesting too because she just sort of had no idea what she was doing for a while, and eventually she's like, "Oh, that's how I do it," and then you just see your number shoot up.
Yeah, there it goes. There was that one thing you were talking about earlier where you said Mark gave you a technique, and you said you didn't want to do it because you thought it wasn't the right way to do it. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. So for Daily 2, you're supposed to change the random lights and make it into a shape that you know. And Mark's suggestion was to delete everything as much as you can until there's only one click left, and then rebuild the shape from scratch.
At least for the ones that were giving you a really hard time.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do that because that's basically just what Daily 5 is, or what Daily 4 and Daily 1 are. And so I wanted to really understand how the shapes work and how the clicks worked, and be able to and then have less clicks too, because if you take it all down and then rebuild it, you're going to have a lot more clicks than just the 4 or 5 that you need to rebuild. That way you have a better idea of how the puzzles actually work. That's what I did. I didn't listen to Mark.
Yeah, a long time ago with it.
Yeah.
A while ago with the Daily 5, I had a friend Travis who would, before I put that thing in where it says like stop, you simplified the puzzle too much, back up or reset, he would just kind of squish everything to a corner and nearly solve it, and then just build up another one, kind of like what you were saying. And in some ways it seems like that's kind of going around the challenge, but in other ways I think doing those things gets you the proper or more effective techniques faster.
Yeah. And a lot of times too with the ones in Daily 5, if you try to simplify it and then build up from there, a lot of times you're getting redundant clicks as well, because sometimes the click both puzzles, you don't need to click there.
Yeah, some of the techniques I used back in the olden days was kind of like that, but then before making the redundant clicks, I would just look at it and be like, okay, just never click there and do it again. So then I'd go back, do it again, and just avoid those few spots, and then it was simplified enough to where I could make it there without hitting the redundant clicks. Because as long as you don't hit them, and you back up with the scroll wheel or reset, it doesn't count as a redundant.
Yep. Yeah, I noticed that too.
Oh, so Krystal skyrocketed here. Jeez. And Fate was joining you up there too. Fate must be close. What is he doing? Let's check it out. enlightenment level. What is this, Fate? It says your green's all the way at the top. Is this looking at the wrong data?
I don't know. Last time I checked, I wasn't at enlightenment.
Maybe this graph is just going crazy.
Very real possibility.
But yeah, you look at the steady increase of mastery. Even when you didn't know what it was, like in hour 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, it was always calculating in the background, and your increases were always these tiny bumps until maybe after these big plateaus here. And the big plateaus on hour 17 to 20, right? That was 3 hours of not basically gaining any points to mastery. And then another plateau from 22 to 24. And then explosion. Interesting. But enlightenment. Oh, Krystal must have been ignoring the lectures from the beginning. That's funny. And then 5 hours in, she's like, okay. And start smoothly going up. Sometimes I wish I gave people access to all the daily challenges from the beginning so they could see if anyone dare try to get to mastery before reaching enlightenment. But so far, everyone reaches enlightenment first, and they might say, because it's easier. I'm like, maybe not because it's easier. It's because you need to be in the right frame of mind with the right techniques. And you don't do that on your own, so you have to get taught that first. Maybe. I don't know how hard it would be for someone just working it straight. Yeah, 1,382 grids.
All my redundant clicks.
Yeah, look at this. Puzzle, daily, explore, 3.35. Yeah. It's funny how long you can spend in there with no goal.
I loved explore mode at the end. It's just so helpful.
I think I was telling someone else that like there was another player who just like really dug explore mode. I think it was Fernando M, who goes by F Hero. He was just in there all the time. I'm like, that's interesting. Notes 1 hour. Yeah.
Oh, and it's just funny because at the beginning, Krystal's like, I just don't see the point of this mode.
That was funny. Oh, that was fun. Good times. And I added these stats somewhat late in the game, but how long you're in level select and how long you're in review mode. 3 hours just staring at a level select.
Because before doing a new puzzle, when they get to the later levels, I would look at the puzzles for a while,
Yeah.
the earlier ones to change it into before I realized that's not the most efficient way to solve puzzles.
Even
I mean,
yeah.
you can do that, but like, I would look at like, okay, I'm in layer 8. What's something in layer 6 I can change it into? And that works sometimes, but especially when you get to the later, like layer 10 and 11 and 12, like that's not going to help you as much. A lot of times is just knowing the click patterns that to look out for and stuff like that. Like those are a lot more useful than just trying to change it. Like, okay, in 2 clicks I can change it to this layer 10-1 or whatever. It's not going to be as useful a lot of times for most of the puzzle I found. If that makes any sense. Like I memorized what, like if there's a T solution facing inward, what that will look like. T solution facing outward, what that looked like. When there's 3 lines across in the middle, how to solve that, and like all those things. I looked at those. What a V solution looks like, what a box solution looks like, and then from there, I could go to layer 10 or 11 or 12 and do those kind of solutions. And the connection in the level select would just bring me to like layer 2 instead of to layer 8, then 6, then 5, then 4. You know what I mean? So, which is interesting.
Red planet.
Yay! All blinded puzzles.
But she finished after she reached mastery. She just had a few left.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So the solution for the 15 is a phoenix. It's phoenix rising from the ashes, flying away.
Oh, you're right. It is.
Let me take a peek at some of. This is one of the most complex connector ones in the game. Huh, interesting. I guess Fate wouldn't have any more. Maybe one more here. That's interesting.
Oh, yep.
Let's see. My thoughts.
That's when I was practicing for daily 2.
Mm-hmm.
You can see on the D2.
I just figured out what it was. I'm like, oh, perfect solution.
Oh yeah. Because that's the perfect solution for, I don't know what it's called, Gritchard Grin, Gritchard Face.
It was originally Gritchard Grin. You called it Gritchard.
Grinchard.
Easier solution that I found that wasn't the perfect solution, but I can always remember how to solve it, so I just did that one instead.
Go try. If clicks exist in both shapes, you don't need to click it. I like these comments. And let's see when you realized this. You were 87% mastery and 100% enlightened. So, stuff I like to do is dot spread, filter, and I want to see everything that you've had when you were 75% or above in mastery and enlightened. And mastery note. How many notes did you take?
Well, I filled it up.
Okay, hold on.
So-
Okay, so sometimes the dot spread doesn't list more than like what's can fit on the screen, so I'll do it here. Enlightenment minimum, this much. Mastery minimum, this much. So these are all your notes that you took when you were... Whoa, just 3?
Really? That's not true.
That's weird.
Yeah, because all the D2 ones were...
Oh, wait.
75%.
I didn't drag enlightenment to 100%. Hold on. 100%. It just goes to 99. That's bad programming. Okay, let's just try this. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Okay, so this is everything in Mastery 85 and above.
I think with Mastery, a lot of times it jumps pretty big, so like it doesn't do small. So I did quite a lot, but I think most of those were just for daily 2, because that's all I had left when I was 85% and above, was just finishing daily 2. So if you do like 50% and above, then it'd be better.
Is there all the...
Or
Oh, so the new feature I have in this version is being able to drag the individual arms. Delicious. Wait, how did it get to 100 but not 100 this time? Oh. I just need to be more careful. But here, so like these are all the questions that you ask in the later half of the game. You flagged them as questions, they're not. Sad. These are all the shapes that you flagged later half in the game. Looks like daily stuff. Ooh, this one looks neat. I would add this to my file if I were browsing for my file. These are all the methods that you have. You only added a few more hashtag definitions.
Oh, I think those may be the ones that you added later on. I feel like you did a lot with the method maker, sort of midway through. You did quite a bit, and then you sort of moved on to other things after that.
I'm sleepy. Great tip. I'm sleepy.
Oh, yes. I didn't do very well on that one.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like 3 clicks. Yeah. Look. Here's the thing. So I noticed that when you finish the daily 2, if you don't get 85%, then you need to make a note. So I would just make a quick note, and I didn't put it anywhere in. I just made a note, and I thought it wasn't saving a shape, but I found out afterwards, as you can tell with my notes, that it does make a shape, but it makes it on the first shape. So like the 3-click one, I knew obviously, but I didn't get.
What was even better, I think she deleted a few, hoping that she would be able to take more notes if she did. But she had one that just showed just one corner shape, and it says, how to solve.
Oh, yeah. That sounds hilarious. There's a small chance I can, like, do something on my end and then give you the file so it bypasses that error, but you're already a master. I don't know how much more time you plan on spending there.
Yeah, I don't know how many more notes I would take, because even if I would came back just to get higher scores in D2 and Daily 2, then I have lots of places to practice with lots of shapes that I've made there anyways, so I think I'm okay.
Yeah, the way I had it set up before is when you look at, you're supposed to look at anomalies in like mastery level, and you see where it climbs the highest. Krystal, you're on. So let's say hours 20 to 22 are the most sharp climb towards the end. So then you just look at hours 20 through 22 on any of the others and see if there was an abnormal jump. Right here, daily mode, you spent more time on daily than you did on these other modes. It's sharper, and then you did more of whatever that is. Relevant nodes tool from 20 to 22. All the rest were about flatlining, so that's interesting. You can even look just before 20 to 22 as well.
Because you can't do Clickkeeper in the dailies. That's probably why. Because that'd probably be higher too.
So you actually answered more questions.
Did.
So,
because you have to answer questions in order to get mastery.
but I mean, that's an interesting kind of test, right? The correlation. Did the answering the questions certainly can give you mastery points, but then maybe if you look at all the other things that rise on the graph, including your daily scores, it also gave you the ability to play better. But we can check that in a second. Notes were flatlined. Flatline. Okay, so then we go to 2022 and we look at. So it was steady on daily 5. Was steady. Oh, actually, it jumped up. That's where you had your breakthrough.
My breakthrough, yeah.
After answering those questions, nothing significant here. Nothing significant there. Nothing too significant there. A nice bump, but also a nice trough. And then 2022, yeah, you rose to the top there for the first time, it looks like. Second time. Wait, first time. So yeah, it looks like this number here was your previous plateau, which is about 84 points. Yeah, 84 points. It's just shy of 85. Oh, it's so sad. 83. And then you're like, okay, now I'm going to get my first 93. Interesting. So yeah, if you consider the correlation between all those, like, is it really a way of thinking, or was it an amount of practice that created those bumps? And other people are a lot bumpier, which is interesting. Your stats are relatively smooth, except for whatever that is. Questions answered. Oh, you answered them in spurts.
yeah, I did.
Interesting.
True. I wish I would show you the number of shapes. Oh, it says shapes renamed. I did definitely renamed more than 5 shapes, though.
I don't know if it counts. Maybe that only is when it prompts you to.
Oh, maybe.
So that's like when I force you to do it and come up with something creative. You know, how many times did that have to happen? But yeah. Did you use this at all? Utah versus T solution, no overlap. Something with the worm solution has bamboo, no overlap. What's up, Mark?
Try T solution and barring. I feel like they'll have overlap.
Cross lights and T's and T solution and and barring. You have nothing in these categories. If I click this, will it break?
What? Oh no, sorry, not. I have stuff in T solution. Why is it not showing? I have a lot of stuff in T solution. That's most of my solution.
Let me see.
Crazy.
Yeah, it has this one, this one, this one. I wonder if it's breaking because of the added shapes.
Oh yeah, because I've got a lot of that.
Okay, so there they are. T solution and bar 3 barring.
Just barring in general, not free barring.
Oh. Barring ball. Nice.
There you go.
This is one of the neatest tools that's the hardest to get people to learn. Like all those curious questions you have like a really structured and gradual way to prove things, right? Do all the puzzles with this all have this? Like instead of just going, I wonder, like you can actually do it. You can actually prove it. But yeah.
Basically, use explore mode actually. Was like, hey, look, those have two solutions. They're outward facing. Wonder how that would look if you changed where they are, or if there's two of them instead of just one, or if there's just one, or if there's three. Shape, so easy.
Yeah, I think the learning model, what I tried to do is get people to focus on being sort of self-aware of what's happening in their brain, and then also realizing that learning isn't just like a random dice roll. Like you need certain things to get certain things, and once you recognize like this needs like this many shapes memorized or this multiple methods to tackle, and you only have one method, then you're not ready and you shouldn't expect to do well. And once you start to seeing things clearly, you start to see your whole learning as a series of I know what I need and I know how to get it. I know what I need, I know how to get it. And when you're tired, you're like, I'm tired, I won't be able to do it. That's it. Just seeing it, the whole process as a little bit more frankly. And like the whole thing with the way I define mastery, with the, you just gotta have stuff in your head at some point. You have your general approach to things, and then you have your much fewer of these typically, but your algorithmic methodologies. Experience. This one you get from playing in explore mode, and it's like the only thing for mastery that you actually have to kind of like burn time on, because it measures your time in there. But I figured, do it anyway. Like you have to spend time like playing in explore mode when nothing else will prompt you to actually figure out how much more possibilities there are. And also what connects in between possibilities.
Right. I feel like the experience one and the memorized one are ones I wasn't aiming for, like to get 100%. I was just doing that because I wanted to understand how the puzzles worked. So it's less of, so it helped me get mastery, less because I needed to fill that part out, and more because.
Yeah, I didn't want them to be a grind. You can get memorized well before blinding all of them, maybe like half, and you're good.
Yep.
But this one was the hard one, and learning something up, down, in and out, forwards and backwards. Certain dailies were designed to delinearize your knowledge. So a lot of people only know click solutions one way, and a lot of people only either know the solution or a trick, and they don't handle rotations well. So like the dailies are all about
rotations.
Like, you have some knowledge, you need to learn how to apply it. Sometimes you need to find things within things. Sometimes you need to subtract things from things. Sometimes you need to build it up. That's the whole forwards and backwards aspect, the delinearizing, the in and out. Where is it? Forwards and backwards, up and down. In and out was supposed to be sort of your ability to solve things in very specific, sort of enlightened, specific ways, and then also to be able to approach things from a more generalized way. So like when I ask questions in the quiz mode, it's just like some questions actually have right or wrong answers, and if you approach them just from like a general thought process, and you don't actually need to have experience much in enLIGHTen to answer those. And I wanted to see if people could actually generalize, like, oh, this puzzle game is not about random clicks, it's about organization and structure, and it's about understanding behaviors, and behaviors are the results of rules and relationships, and understanding it a bit more generally. So that if somebody asks you, like, what are you doing playing that game, you don't just go like, I'm making clicks, Dad, and it's called anime. No, you can actually explain it in a way that can reach people beyond just the confines of enLIGHTen players. And the up and down was your ability to abstract things. So I think this was when you do things. Hold on, yeah. abstract. In general, asking you to do more with the puzzle system than just solve puzzles. When I ask you to build it up, or when I ask you to morph a thing into a thing, like that's all kind of approaching the puzzle in different ways. Especially when you see the lights instead of looking like obstacles, they just look like, you know, footstep possibilities, and you can dance around and play around with it at a kind of a different level. The way I approach a lot of things is very logarithmically. I say the puzzle has this small shape in it, therefore it cannot be this. If it cannot be this, I will do all these things and it should be fine. And that like pushes me through a lot of puzzles. I see a tiny arrow. I know I can't do this. I know I must be doing this eventually, so... And I just go like, yeah, and do stuff like that. That's seeing the puzzle well beyond just lights and moving them around in a very concrete, direct way. It's like, oh, the puzzle has a nature, and the natures can be identified by signifiers, right? That's different. So that was the hope, at least. I felt it was very difficult to test some of these aspects specifically, but I tried between all 5 dailies to do that. These are the new dailies. I had daily 6 and 7. I think 6 works, but I'll save it to the end so I don't crash everything. The relevant notes here. A lot of yours are solution-based. Rice sits in the bowl. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. Where'd it go? When your notes start to take on this metaphorical quality, and you start seeing the shapes and understanding the shapes by connecting them to stronger memories instead of just like B6 and D2, and you're like, what?
I've never understood B6 and D2. You should look up the what is it? The monster capture ball, I think is what it's called. That one.
Did you rename it? No?
I didn't rename it. Oh, yes I did. Never mind. I renamed it.
Do you know what number it was?
I don't remember what number it is, but it's called Pathway to the Pearl.
Oh, Pathway, okay.
Just to find it. What? Jewel dagger? Why?
Path to the Pearls. Cool.
I think it's upper right.
I think it's right here.
There it is. Layer 10.
Yep. Because you go, solution is 2 paths, and then it leads to a pearl solution. So that's that one. Or big eyes, big eye. I did a lot of renaming.
Nice.
See, look.
That's always the hope. Ah, look at those. The double Facebooks. Yeah, whenever you see 3 dots like this, you know a Facebook is hidden in there somewhere.
Yep.
Somewhere.
Yeah, when I do, but that's okay.
Not that you'll ever have a million notes, but it does let you do this and filter what's out here. I think I can filter by barrings, right?
Yep.
Well, whatever. Let's see if I filter out the solutions. It doesn't work. Oh well. It was supposed to help filter. But imagine being in a puzzle so complex that on the sidebar you're like searching through pages and folders of different concepts. It's possible. But so the cool part about the sound design here is that each row has its own soundscape, and when you click out here, whatever lights up activates the soundscape to a volume level depending on how many are lit up in the row. So the center is that deep bass, and if you light up 2 or 3, you get to hear it pretty prominently. But since it's not hitting anything else on the way there, you hear a very high note, and then a very low note. But if you hit something that crashes into a lot of stuff, middle notes. These all make those middle notes. So even when it's not on the screen and I see people do this, I'm like, I get it. I know who you are. Yeah, these deep resonant ones, it's because it hits nothing on its way back. That's cool though. Tutorials, what didn't you do? Yeah, I'm glad it worked. I'm glad you liked it. Nobody really uses the level select filter, but it's the same thing. You can see in real time stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
And this is kind of like a living graph that you can make. Where? There. Encounter rate. So anything that you've countered a lot, and then has the minimal clicks of 4 to 9. And then you can click back over here. Like these puzzles are the ones that give you trouble. And if you click on a single puzzle, clicks, scene notes. You have 3 notes on it. That's cool. But if you do this, solve time. I actually record all your solve time playing the puzzle. So if I do this, it should show me the I think those are minutes. 5 minutes for that one, 4.5 minutes for that one, 2 minutes, 1 minute. So if I want to look at the ones that took you the longest to solve, I think, and the ones, wait, hold on. These took you the longest to solve.
That's cool.
Oh, you have nothing up there. What's wrong? What's wrong with my Spectre? Look, point 1 to solve that. You're like, wow, okay. I hear you.
I think it may do average because I do those ones a lot. Like they're really.
It only records your first time playing it till you solve it.
Oh really?
Yeah, so it's actually keeping track of your, like, when people are like, that wasn't hard, I'm like, oh yeah. I want to see how long it took. And then I can check on them, like, hey. And I don't display that stat anywhere but there. So, like, most people will never get pressured by it. So I don't tell them.
Yeah, makes sense.
What's the other one? Oh, yeah.
That one's not.
You can see the puzzles you assign the most notes to.
Bet it's
These. 3 notes. Ooh. 3 notes. 3 notes. What's up, Fate?
Yeah.
Chapter 3 done.
Very nice. On to chapter 4.
And the other thing, oh, and this is, and this feature is one that you can technically type in something here, and hit enter, and it'll search all the notes that are associated with this word, and then reveal all the puzzles that are associated with that note.
That's cool.
So you can kind of search your map conceptually, like if you typed in sad.
Oh dear.
You probably won't. Those are usually for the dailies that you did. Okay, stop that.
Yep.
Quit breaking. Quit breaking.
Okay, now we're on to loops.
Only this is the one you have something sad for, apparently.
Yeah, that's just from the dailies then. Because those are not. No, those are fine.
She's like, oh, they wanted me to click on the screen? What? Breakthrough!
So this is the new hidden shapes if you haven't seen it.
Oh, that would have been so nice.
Ooh.
And this is the new Overwatch. You can, hold it. Overwatch Switch? Oh, this is your file. Of course you don't have any Overwatch. But you can make scripts and have it tell you things while you're solving it instead of just looking at random glitcher notes. Did you ever do the flow history?
Once?
So from here, you go up to Hive quarter of the time, and making these as even as possible is how you make sure you don't get stagnated on your solution paths. So if I see wine opener as 8 and Hive at 26, I always go like wine opener, something like that, right? And then fan out from there as I'm exploring.
Why do I get hives often? I feel like the hive from cross to hive, I think is, or hive to cross is usually from dot solution. Yeah, I usually have that for.
Yeah, you don't have any methods because it's the wrong file. But yeah, here's daily challenge 6. Input cell by cell the light pattern that would be made if you clicked on the cells in the target.
Ooh. Dear, I love that.
Ah, interesting.
Okay.
And you have
Yep.
to submit. Oh, interesting.
It's gonna get harder when they're close together.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That'd be a good thing.
Pearls. Well, that's not pearls. That's. I'm sad. Defibrillator.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh, it's gonna be a TIE fighter, the turn
Scorpion.
scorpion. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. Fun. Yeah, and I kind of want to make the redundant clicks penalizing, so you can't just do like every square, just click it, and then the next square, just click it, and then the next square. You have to actually envision the shape.
Is it not penalizing right now?
I don't know what it's doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I figured I could make 7 dailies, but that was when I was crazy and still working on this. Congratulations again, Krystal.
Thank you.
You made it. You did it all.
Yeah.
Yay!
Turning off the stream.